Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of Vision Pros Live. I'm your show host, Jackson Callum, founder and CEO of First Class Business, and my voice may seem a little bit down today. It's not down; it's kind of in sacred meditation at this point. We got Scott Curry on the show from faithward.com, and his message is one that resonates deeply with anybody who's ever gone through loss and grief of a loved one. He actually just lost his mom in September of this past year, and that I can only imagine. In fact, I don't want to imagine what that feels like. I love my mom, and I'm super grateful that I still have her in my life. Um, I was raised by a single mom of six, and the reality of that, when you're raised by a single mom, is you find mentors and fathers elsewhere, and those people often become like your own father. So Scott just shared this beautiful story of how he was able to be there with his mom for the last 3 weeks of her life. And a few weeks ago, my best friend, I received an invitation virtually to the funeral for his father. And man, that was tough. And I'm down in Ecuador, and I wasn't in a position. I'm not in a position where I could take 3 weeks off. I'm also not in a position where I would do that for the sake of what I'm up to. But I would have. It would have been amazing to have been able to make the right type of time and trip down to see him and to be there with the family for that, and to have absolute financial freedom. Like, cool. That's kind of part of the American dream, right? So it'll be interesting to see what Scott knows about it, but I can understand the value and dedication of what it is that he is providing. I could just feel the sincerity of his heart and what he wants to bring to people. And he said it. I'll double down on it. There are no guarantees on the outcome of these opportunities. We don't have the ability to choose, what's going to take place in 6 months or 6 days or even 6 minutes from now. You can plant the best farm in the world and a tornado can come and wipe your crops out. And I believe firmly that God does things like that to help us in ways that we don't necessarily understand. Maybe there are bigger blessings coming along the way, but just because we can't control it doesn't mean we shouldn't lean into the resources and the activities and the opportunities to learn how do we create sustainability and security for our lives. And that's exactly what I see Scott representing and leaning into, and he's leaning into it tenaciously. So without further ado, I'm going to skip some of our sponsors. I won't skip the Water Project. If you get a chance to check out the Water Project, we're not affiliated, but we do support it. There's millions of people who need drinking water. They don't have access to it, and you have the opportunity to make generational impacts there, or just share it with your friends. You never know how far the ripple effect of what you share will go. But we're all about trying to help the 8 billion people in this world who need it. Right now, let's get back to helping each and every single one of you. So Scott Curry, welcome to Vision Pros Live, and thanks for sharing such an emotional and such a purpose-driven vision.
Thank you so much. And I really appreciate the fact that you guys support the Water Project. 2 years ago, I was in Uganda and financing the building of some schools and buying land for churches and buying some farmland for some orphanages. And during my time there, I saw people walking over a mile, little kids walking over a mile with huge 5-gallon jugs of water in their head, picking up this dirty, disgusting green water. And that was their drinking and cooking water. And the need for the Water Project is so great. I saw it firsthand. And I just want to encourage all of your listeners to please go support that project.
Thank you, Scott, for putting more details and a voice to it. It's so important for us as people who may not face that to feel like imagine what that's like, because it is real and it is happening. So again, thank you for doubling down with me, Scott. That's amazing what you did too, in Africa as well. Again, we got to bring you back because we're not going to get into the building right now. I want to get in the building. I told the audience we will, so we're going to reserve that for the next episode, because my bigger burning question is, why do you care? What are the steps or milestones in your life that led you to the point where you just cared to do all of these good things and all these and be on this path of success?
Well, there's going to be two answers to that. And the
Yeah.
first one is, I think, the more important answer, and that's Jesus Christ. None of this would have happened without God. Prior to me accepting Jesus, I was very selfish, very self-centered, only caring really what can make my personal life better. And when I did accept Jesus, my whole outlook changed. Suddenly, other people became more important than myself. And I don't think any of this, my main business, the new Faith Road company, any of it would have come about without God absolutely transforming my heart and getting me to a place where I cared deeply about other people and cared about helping other people. Now,
Mm,
that said, there's a very real, personal, deep reason why I wanted to become financially free and what ultimately led me on this path. And that was about 10 years ago when my twin boys were about 2 years old. And I was leaving for work one day, heading out to my job, and I'm walking down the stairs, and my twin boys stopped at the top of the stairs. We had a little baby gate so they couldn't fall down the stairs. And they're both hanging on to the top of the stairs on that baby gate in unison because they were twins, crying, tears running down their faces, saying, "Daddy, please don't go. Don't leave us, Daddy. Don't leave us. Don't go." And it absolutely broke my heart to see these twin 2-year-olds crying and begging me to stay. And as I was walking out the door, I made the decision that day I was going to find some way, somehow, to become financially free so that I would never have to leave them again. And it took 5
mm,
years, a lot of failed businesses, a lot of attempts that didn't work out, and pivots and trying again and picking myself up and trying again before I finally found that thing that worked for me. And when I did find that thing that worked for me, I went after it with everything I had, literally getting 3 to 4 hours of sleep every single night for 3 straight months, working at my full-time job during the day, and then working full-time in the evening and weekends to build this business in order to become financially free, because I knew I had to do that for my kids.
mm. Dang. Scott, that's huge. And my heart's pulled in two different directions. One, and I'm going to go the irreverent route. I think most of us as entrepreneurs are super aware that in 10-year time, 96% of businesses fail, and 4% survive. And here you are, you're like, hey, in 5 years I put hard work in, and it took 5 years and tons of businesses, and we're like, wait, you were able to do that in just 5 years. And so one, congratulations. My hat's off to you. I look forward to hearing more about the details on that in the longer interview. And way to put your kids first, man. And Vision Pros, I think that it's not one, it's completely possible and intentional to make sure that we're hearing the cries of our loved ones. That we're looking at it and saying, what can we do? To make these things happen. And maybe we feel called to do that in the here and now. Act on the call. Maybe you feel called in a different direction. We're not condemning anybody who goes to work, and that feels the need to do that. But if you do feel the power and value of spending more time with family, then find mentors who've been able to do just that. I was a stay-at-home dad from the very time my daughter was born. At my first daughter, 2010. And I was so grateful to have that experience as a now single father of four, that doesn't live with my children. It's a different path of intentionality for connecting with them. But whatever your current present moment is, whether it's children crying at the gate, or it's trying to figure out how do you best connect with your kids after a separation. There's so many things that we can do. And again, my encouragement to you, find the right mentor. We're going to end on a fortune cookie statement from Scott regarding visions. And so, Scott, as a final word of wisdom for visionaries out there, what piece of wisdom would you give to other visionaries?
The answer is always no until you ask. And a slight variation of that, because that's more salesy, slight variation of that would be failure is guaranteed until you try.
Ooh, both great Yoda quotes. I like that a lot. So you guys heard it from Scott Curry. Failure is always guaranteed until you try. You've heard it from Michael Jordan, I believe, was the one who said you miss every shot that you don't take. Right. So we want to make sure we're maximizing this. Vision Pros, in the top right corner, there's a button that says Be Our Guest. Go to visionproslive.com, click Be Our Guest, come be part of our show and tell us about what your vision is. And Scott, thanks for blessing us with the wisdom. Everybody go check out faithroar.com to see more about it. In the meantime, we'll bring Scott back and we'll dive into where his vision has gone to since this very interview as well. and get to look and see what he's building, how he's building it. And it's always nice to learn from somebody who's found success in business, because that is a rare gem in of itself. Scott, thanks for your time, man.
Thank you so much for having me on. I can't wait to continue this conversation.
Absolutely. We'll see you guys soon. Thank you for being here today. I'm really happy that you tuned in to Vision Pros Live. I'm looking forward to seeing your reactions as these episodes continue to move forward. This is going to get more and more fun. We'll have more and more engagement as well. We'll invite people to participate in the show. And thank you for giving us your time and attention. Have an excellent time building out your vision and becoming a vision pro yourself.